If you own a Jeep Wrangler or a Jeep Gladiator, one of the most important mods that you can make to it is upgrading your differential cover. This is a simple DIY project that offers serious protection for your off-road ventures in places like the deserts of New Mexico. This video is not sponsored, and all the products you're going to see in it, I purchased with my own money. Now let's hit the trail, head back to my garage, and get going on this install. There are a lot of great upgraded differential covers out there on the market. Today I'm installing Dana Spicer Advantek Performance Front Differential cover on my 2022 Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesel, and this will also fit the JL Wrangler. The part number is 10044799, and it fits Dana 44 M210 axles. I chose this front differential cover because it's a robust build, it's reasonably priced, and it's designed and built by Dana Spicer, the same people who produced your Dana 44 axle on your Jeep. The Spicer diff cover is made of nodular iron. It's much thicker and it's much stronger than the stamped steel OEM version that comes on your Jeep stock. You see it's a much thinner piece of metal. The performance diff cover has fins as part of the construction. The OEM doesn't have any fins. These fins will help you with cooling. They add strength to the construction of the diff cover. These bottom fins here will actually act as a slider to help you slide off of obstacles out on the trail. The fins also do a great job of protecting the bolts. You're not likely to have a bolt head sheared off and lose your fluid out on the trail. The Spicer diff cover also has two fill holes. The top fill hole is for completely dry axle assemblies with no fluid in them. It's also used for high pinion angle drive shafts. I'll be using the bottom hole to fill this diff after your installation. Here's what comes in the box. Part number 10044799. You get the diff cover itself, you get 12 pre-Loctited bolts to fasten it to the differential, and you get a tube of Reinzosil RTV to form a gasket. This is a great beginner DIY Jeep mod project. All you need is a few simple tools. I got a whole variety of 10mm sockets, ratchets, extensions, a torque wrench. I got some plastic pry bars to pry the diff cover off. I'm going to use my Milwaukee impact gun. Going to need a little brake clean to clean up surfaces. I always have alcohol around. I got all these rubber gloves. All right, time to get underneath the Jeep and do some damage. See the diff fluid starting to come out now. So you might notice on this OEM diff cover, there's a fill hole, but there's no drain hole. So if you were just intending to change your diff oil, what you need to do is remove this cover, and this is a reusable gasket. So you'd remove the cover, save this gasket, and then after you get all the old diff fluid out, you would return this gasket and this diff cover and then fill it with diff fluid. In this case, we don't reuse this gasket for the new diff cover. We're going to use the Reinzosil sealant to make an RTV gasket. This surface is called a gasket flange or mating surface. Prepping it is just making sure it's nice and clean. If there's any paint or material that might not let the new diff cover sit flat, just smooth them out. The part of the flange we really care about is inside the bolt holes. That should be smooth as silk. This is the kind of detail that makes a pro job, but it's super easy for a DIYer to get right. I've got a brand new rag here. I'm just going to hit it with some brake clean. Wipe down the mating surface. You want to definitely have no oil or contaminants that are going to stop the Reinzosil from creating a nice gasket for us. I'll have links in the description that you can use to purchase a lot of the products that you've seen in the video. I'm an Amazon affiliate, and I will get a small commission if you do use the link. It does not raise the price you pay for the product. It's a great way for you to support the channel, and your support makes it all worthwhile. Dana 44 diff is all ready to meet its Dana Spicer Performance diff cover. Here's a new wrinkle: no gasket required. This gasket we would only reuse if we were putting the OEM diff cover back on after, say, a fluid change. In this case, we're not going to use it. We're going to use the Reinzosil that's included with a diff cover, and this will make a gasket for us no problem. I know that sounds sacrilegious to a lot of you DIY mechanics, but the fact of the matter is, if we included that gasket when we installed this diff cover, these bolts that are included with the diff cover are not long enough to properly fasten the diff cover onto the diff housing. Now we just have to put a nice bead of Reinzosil right here on the inside of these bolt holes, right along this edge. Don't go around the bolt holes. Don't spread the Reinzosil all around. Don't smooth it out. Just put a nice bead right along the inside here, and that's all we need. These bolt holes are dry fasteners. They're never going to come into contact with any kind of oil or any diff fluid. They don't need to be sealed from any more farther out than from here out. Reinzosil is an amazing product, and it replaces countless RTV silicones. It also replaces most paper and cork gaskets. Just a word of caution: the word poison is all over this tube, and they are not kidding. This stuff stinks, but it works. Don't get it on your skin. Once we apply the bead of Reinzosil in here, we have 5 to 15 minutes to install the diff cover before this stuff starts to skin over, and then that's a problem. Okay, I got my bead of sealant on here. Let's get this thing installed. Okay, here we go. There's plenty of room, nothing in the way. Try to place this exactly where it's going to go without moving it around too much, right on the holes. And we'll get some bolts started, finger tight. Good, nice and easy. After I get all these bolts in, I'll go ahead and go around with a torque wrench. I'm going to tighten them all down to between 25 and 30 foot-pounds. And then we'll be done, except for the diff fluid. Now I'll just run the torque wrench around to every bolt. You know what the factory does? They put a little mark on every bolt that's been torqued. You could do that at home too, I guess, but hopefully I can figure out which ones I torqued and which ones I didn't. These filler plugs, you use a 1/2-inch socket. We're not going to use the top filler plug, so I can go ahead and tighten this one down. We're going to use this bottom one. Well, that's all I can do for now, because the Reinzosil requires 4 to 6 hours to obtain what's called a functional seal. So in the morning, I'm going to put in some Amsoil diff fluid. I got this 75/85 severe gear. This is what was recommended on the Amsoil website. I like to use Amsoil. I use Amsoil, the oil for my vehicle. All the different fluids I use Amsoil. It's American made, comes in these pouches. I don't have to use a pump to pump it out of a bottle, and then pump it into the diff. This tip allows you to put it in without spilling any, and you can squeeze the bag and get all of it, every last drop out of it. Now the diff cover that we put in, it's going to take more fluid than a standard diff cover that an OEM diff cover will. The shape of that diff cover maintains the same fluid dynamics that originally designed into the differential. The axle's made by Dana Spicer, and so is the diff cover. Was one of the reasons that I purchased it. I'll be all ready to go up to Colorado on my trip next week and do some off-roading in the Gladiator. I'll have a lot of confidence that if my diff impacts any rocks or anything, it's going to be pretty safe. If this video helped you conquer your own diff cover install, or you learned a new trick, let me know in the comments below. If you found value in the video, hit that thumbs up button. Consider subscribing. I have lots of helpful videos on the channel. Check out my website, muddyruttzz.com. A lot of great articles on there. Well, I'll see you on the next one. And don't forget, on Muddy Ruttzz, the best is yet to come.